I have a special something for you at the end of this podcast that you don't know about.
Okay.
All right, so I have a special announcement. It has to do with
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. This is my business partner, Christian, and now podcast partner, or he's been my podcast partner now for what? This is, I don't know, 20-something. We'll get it
20.
down.
Let's say this is 20. Follow me on Instagram at Cashier.
Follow him on Instagram, Cashier. Maybe Volley will get it right this time. We'll see. But yeah, we're doing things a little bit differently. So if you guys have been following us for quite some time, this has been an evolution. And we've just kind of been trying to improve things and make it more engaging, make it more exciting, more interesting. And so now we're restructuring it a little bit. And we're actually adding whiskey to our Barcast because
Yes, sir.
It makes actual sense. What are you doing? Sorry. But anyway, so what we're going to do, okay, we're going to have, our hope is to have a different whiskey each podcast. And then Christian and I have come up with a toast that we're going to say to each other before we take a drink of our whiskey. Obviously, we're going to, well, not obvious, but we're going to give a fun fact about the particular whiskey that we're drinking. And then we're also going to open it up to you. So we're going to come up with a creative toast, and then we want you guys to be involved. So come up with your favorite toast, something that's funny. And if we like it, we'll make sure that we air it onto that particular podcast. So we haven't decided yet if we're going to be putting it on social media, or if we're just going to open it up to YouTube,
Hell yeah,
whatever.
we are.
So
Yes, it'll at least be on my social media
at Cashier.
Cash underscore
If you
here.
can't find Cashier for whatever reason, I can't figure out why, make sure that you follow at Own the Chaos as well. I'll be sure to put it on there. And you'll find it somewhere. Whether it's on YouTube, social media, whatever, just go follow all of it. Do yourself a favor.
We're going to fire our editor. Molly, hate to do it this way, but you're done. You're fired. Unless you put my handle,
All right. So, what better way to kick it off than with just regular old straight up Jack Daniels?
Yeah, we're at the home of Jack Daniels.
We're at the home of Jack Daniels. Again, shout out, horse you came in on, Saloon, Fells Point, Baltimore.
Yeah, so we'll give the rundown again for people who haven't followed the Barcast, but we're at the Horse You Came On Saloon, which is in Fells Point, Baltimore, and so the horse is home of the old Number 7 Club,
Right.
which is a Jack Daniels club, and it's, oh my gosh, it's been around, I believe, 2012. So 2012 we started the club, and it sells the most Jack Daniels per square foot. So this is a whiskey bar, it's a Jack Daniels bar, and so the idea is we'll start with Jack, and all the additions, we'll get our hands on as many additions of Jack as possible, tell the story of Jack. I have some cool stories I can tell, and then maybe it evolves into liquors. I can, throw in stories of the horse as well. But since we are at the home of the old Number 7 Club, we have to start with old Number 7.
I mean, there's no better way to do it.
And so normally, or in the future, I think we'll have like some different types of liquors.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Jack.
Right.
Jack Black.
Right.
And so in the future, maybe we'll have some liquors that have a little bit of story, or we're tasting them for the first time. But you and I have both tasted Jack Daniels before.
Right.
So simply put, we're starting here. This is the first one, Old Reliable.
Let's do it. All right. So I have my toast ready.
You want your fun fact?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I go with the fun fact.
All right, so this isn't profound, but this is a cool little piece of knowledge for all the Jack drinkers. You can use this. So I'll ask you a question and see if you know the answer, and if not, the fun fact is the answer. So, do you know what Jack Daniels' real name was?
I don't.
So Jack is a nickname.
Okay.
So Jack Daniels' real name is Jasper Newton Daniel. So that's your fun fact.
I feel
so
like
next
I remember
time
that.
somebody drinks Jack,
Jasper
be
Newton.
like, hey, do you know what Jack's real name was? So here's to Jasper Newton Daniel.
All right. Well, then.
With the toast. We're not going to drink yet. But
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
The
My toast is.
battle toast.
Here's to our genitals. May they never fail us or jail us. See, I knew I was going to have you on that one. I knew I was going to have you on that one.
Let's start.
I knew I was gonna get you with that. I knew I was gonna get you.
All right, here's mine.
All right.
This is a little bit longer. All right, and my IG fam is watching this. Cashier. All right, so here's to me in my sober mood when I ramble, sit and think. Here's to me in my drunken mood when I gamble, sin and drink. And when my days are gone and from this world I pass, I hope they bury me upside down so the world can kiss my ass.
Well, that took a long time.
I know, it's beautiful.
All right, here we go.
Cheers. You
I did it
bounce
backwards.
afterwards.
Good old number 7.
What are you tasting there? What kind of notes are you tasting?
I mean, I could always taste the barrel itself, like
Yeah.
it's just that earthy, wood, like, and even like when you're tasting like wine and stuff, you could tell when it's been fermented in a barrel versus like
Yeah.
steel, and I could always just bring that out.
I'm tasting some maple, a little charcoal, and some Nickelback. Maybe a little bit of Bruce Springsteen. So we're gonna put a poll up, and you guys are gonna vote on which
That's right.
toast was better. And I think we all know already which toast is better.
I don't think so.
Come on.
Listen, you were already dying.
I think I messed up the last part of the line. Did I say
I don't know.
and when they bury me? Dang.
Anyway, so on to today's content. Hopefully you guys like that. Let us know what you think in the comments.
I hope they bury me upside down so the world can kiss my ass. That's just such a good line. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, leave us some comments if you liked it. Awesome. If not, give us some feedback. What do you think? Also, give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more amazing toasts like that or more fun facts. That
Real
sort
quick,
of thing.
I'm sorry. I think you're going to win on a technicality because most of your YouTube subscribers are male. And the fact that you said genital, they're just going to do it's like, it's such BS because you're playing to your
Listen,
crowd.
no, you play to win is what you do. You play
They're
to win.
children, and they're just going to vote on it because you said genitals, which is why I laughed. So basically, anything with like genitals or farting or like, you're going to win. All right, I'm going to come with better material next week.
All right.
It's the best quote I ever had. All right. So that was good. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how people react. But anyway, so today's content, we're still talking about, businesses, how we're doing and all that good stuff. And we have to go back to a whole week ago from today.
Yeah.
Today is July 31st.
Yep.
And so last week, I was having a really tough time.
Yes, that you were.
I was having a really tough time. Reason being was because, I wasn't practicing what I preached and was not happy with the growth of the channel, with the growth of the business. Like everything just seems like it's just been stagnant. I've been trying to figure out why. And so last week I just had a tough time with it. It was, you always get like this little bit of high or anticipation whenever you upload a video. For people who aren't YouTubers, there's just that, I don't know, that adrenaline rush. You're usually like, you click the upload button, you're like, and you just sit there waiting for people to start watching it. And the last Barcast, it was like, I was literally sitting there watching it and 0 views for like a good hour. And I'm like, what's going on here? And so like, I just got really irritated and really upset. And then, even with, and it just stuff with like, the mentorship wasn't growing then either. I felt like I was starting to lose some people. And so I was just like, what's going on? Why am I not like growing? And I was so focused on that whole entire weekend instead of just like appreciating being in the moment that I'm in right now, which is just small beginnings. And so we talked about it a little bit, but I want to like really kind of dive into it a little bit more.
Yeah, we talked. I mean,
We talked a lot because
I got the call.
I was threatening like moving the Barcast to another channel and all this other stuff. I was like, we got to do something. But instead of just like staying the course and keep having fun with it, which is ultimately what leads to a lot of people's success anyway. Like I love doing this. This is a lot of fun.
When we started doing this, we agreed that we were going to do this for us.
Yes.
And I need to remind you that because we realized that potentially this wouldn't necessarily blow up, but we thought at least if we provide value for each other and we have something out there, that whatever happens with it happens with it. And I think at minimum we'll be able to have some cool content to look back on and see where we began with this Barcast, but also it's the story of our entrepreneurial journey. So I love it. Like I don't second guess it. I don't doubt it. I mean, do I look at views? Sure, I look at views at how they are, but it doesn't. Seeing the comments, like the comments, you know, we have like I know one or two. The first one or two are going to be Blade Runner 0, right? Like, and that's cool. Like I feel really privileged that we have, even if it's just one person that's seeing value out of it. I don't really care if there's 1,000 or 2,000 or 1,000,000. I think people are going to gravitate towards it in time.
Blade Runner 0, Alan, and
Alan,
it's always
Alan,
Quick
yeah.
Fox. Those three guys are
Shout
always
out
the
to
ones
Alan.
that, shout out to you guys, are always watching every minute of it, pretty much. I mean, and that's what we needed to hold on to, right? And that's what I was, explaining to you, and I don't need to convince you of that, but I just needed to convince myself. It's just like, I think that if you just blow up overnight, you miss those moments. And so like those personal connections that I have with you guys and, a lot of people who kind of like blow up overnight kind of miss out on. And, we've always talked about building our business on relationships. And it's like, I have that relationship with those people. And those are the types of relationships that I feel like I'm going to have forever, and what a cool story it would be to be like, if a year or two from now, Blade Runner's still commenting on it, and it's like, we got thousands or hundreds of thousands of views, and it's like that guy's been there from the beginning, and he's able to watch it grow from nothing.
Yeah. And speaking of the beginning, so I have a special something for you at the end of this podcast that you don't know about.
Okay.
All right. So I have a special announcement. It has to do with us beginning this whiskey piece of our Barcast, and then and then next week, so the next episode, we're actually going to join the old number 7 club.
Right.
So that's going to be exciting for the next podcast episode to be able to join the old number 7 club. So that's going to be the beginning of that, where we'll explain it more in future podcasts. But that club, that bottle is going to be owned by the podcast and by its viewers. So, anyways,
right, yeah, and that's important. By its viewers too.
Yeah, by its viewers. Yeah.
So we'll go in a lot more detail. I'm excited to reveal all of that next week as well.
Yeah. So with that said, I want to break this into two conversations. So the first conversation is just simply about the action of what happened, right? So like, I get a call from you, and you talked about, wanting to change the whole thing and maybe starting a new channel or change the
So
content.
here's what happened. Let me break this down. The conversation was like, I think that maybe we should move the Barcast to a different channel perhaps. And then this happened. It was just like, you were completely silent for like a good 10, 20 seconds. And I was kind of like, oh shit, maybe I should. And so like, I don't know if you're just like thinking about it, or I could kind of see you rolling your eyes almost on the other end of the phone.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I was saying. And my question to you is, when you come to me like that, and I really feel honored that I'm the person that you come to, but like when you come to me, are you looking for just somebody to vent to, or are you looking for perspective? Because typically you come to the answer you want to come to.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think it was a little bit of both. I mean, I was like kind of coming to you and being like, am I crazy, or, am I just, frustrated at myself for whatever reason? I don't know why it bothered me so much at that moment, but I think it was a couple of things happening all at the same time, and I was just like throwing my hands up in the air.
So what I've noticed when these things happen, because you're right, the YouTube channel, it's happened before, where you've kind of thrown your hands up and given me a call. The mentorship, kind of throwing your hands up and giving me a call. And from my perspective, looking at it on a macro level, what I kind of get from it is, it seems like you're attaching emotion to a situation in the sense of you're taking it potentially personally, right?
Yeah.
If it was anybody else, you would look at it objectively, and it wouldn't matter. Like, I almost take it as like you're saying like, oh, people don't like me or like my content, right?
Yeah.
Where yeah, I'm on this Barcast with you, but it's your channel, so I don't take it very personally. And to be honest, I'm new at, being on YouTube,
Yeah.
so I am, I know I'm going to make mistakes and stuff like that. So that's what I kind of feel like with the YouTube channel and the mentorship. Even the mentorship is like, you were saying how people are leaving and not coming in as fast as they're leaving. Well, the irony of all that in our We Trade HQ meeting yesterday is we noticed that it was like actually there was a misinformation you were receiving.
Yeah.
And so that's the irony, was actually more people weren't leaving that were coming, but the way you were receiving the information, basically there was a glitch and it was showing that you were actually losing members and you weren't.
Right.
And so you could have changed the whole thing on misinformation.
That's true.
And so both of those have the common thread, which you own them. Nobody else has. I mean, I have a little bit of sway in it, but nobody else is the decision maker for both those things. And it's basically on you. And it feels like you're allowing the personal to cloud the objectivity of the situation.
And it's hard to separate both of them, though. And I think that, like, most people struggle with that. I don't think I'm like the outlier, and
Absolutely.
I can tell people that as much as I want, but exercising that discipline is a whole different story. And it's not like I was going crazy off the wall, and I wasn't like calling on the phone and being like, fuck this and all this.
Yeah.
But it was just, like you said, I was just kind of letting it get to me a little bit. And it's hard to take the emotion out of it sometimes. And I was just kind of like had that moment of weakness. But, I called you, 48 hours later, 24 hours later or whatever, and was like, I'm sorry. I literally that was the first words that came out of my mouth.
Well, in the way I look at it, and this is where you and I probably differ, or I don't want to say you differ as a whole, but in this situation, we differ, is the mindset I prescribe to is when I commit to something, I'm like kind of in it.
Yeah.
And we've talked about how maybe I'm in it to maybe too long, and I'll commit to something where I'm looking at it as like, if it's not working, all right, what are we trying new? It's almost like this code I'm trying to crack.
Right.
And the reason why I look at it that way is because I feel like if I start moving the ball, and if I'm moving like the boulder uphill and I'm starting to get momentum, each of those obstacles, if I stop and I'm like, I got to change it. Well, if I'm stopping, then the boulder's rolling back downhill.
Right.
Whereas if I can just switch and be like, okay, what's the next thing I'm doing? Then I can keep that momentum, because I feel like when we have those conversations, everything comes to a stop, and then we have to again get the thing going, and it makes it a little bit harder. Whereas what we said was, our conclusion we came to was, listen, we didn't commit to the original plan.
Right.
And so it's not surprising that we haven't seen results, because we haven't even fully committed to the plan. So why are we bailing or aborting on a plan that actually we haven't given a true shot to?
Right.
And so that's the way I look at things, where it's like, okay, let's keep the momentum going and let's add this, and so we can shift and we can be nimble, but let's never just stop, because then for us to get it built back up takes a lot of energy that it wouldn't if we were just, making a little bit of a shift.
Right. And like restarting a whole entire channel, I keep trying to bring myself in check with that too, because it's taken me 2 years to get to this point.
Yeah.
And I've gone up and down, have ups and downs, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's the same struggles that everybody in a YouTube space, or even just from a business standpoint, they go through this plateau, and it's like, I feel like I'm working my ass off, and nothing's happening. So like, what the hell else do I have to do? And so that was kind of like the moment that I was in at that time, trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong. And I don't think there's anything that I am doing wrong, but like you were saying, like recommitting ourselves to the actual plan, because there's a lot of things that we deviated from. Instead of just like keeping it structured, we just kind of like wung everything, and that's not really how it needs to be done.
Yeah, and additionally, one of the important points is that when you think about when your channel started, and I wasn't there, but I'd imagine that it's similar to like me thinking about starting my channel, is I don't expect to get any views. All I'm trying to do is build a foundation and put out good content.
Right.
If I get 3 views, I'll be like, okay, I got 3 views. I'm sure at the beginning it was similar for you. It wasn't like you were like, oh man, I only got 20 views. Well, no, you had to build something up. And so somehow things have shifted now,
Yeah.
now that you have, almost 10,000 subscribers, that now it is a metric that you're looking at, that you're equating to success or not.
Right.
When a lot of the people that see success, like they're not like, this is how you have success. It's really just be you, put out content, and then whatever hits. Like that's not, you don't have as much control as you think over what's really going to resonate.
Yeah, and be consistent.
Yeah.
And consistency, I think, is
Yep.
super key. The most successful YouTubers I've seen, they're constantly making sure that they're putting out the same videos, the same day, the same time, so people know when to tune in. And I think that's really a huge part of it too. But also the structure of the actual content is also consistent. And so that's something that I think that we also deviated from. When we talked about that off camera, is like, we haven't stuck to the plan that we originally were going to stick to from the start. So
Yeah, so that's important. The other piece I wanted to talk about was the embrace the small beginnings part of where you kind of, and you could probably articulate this better than I can, but you had said, like, it seems like you keep forward thinking, and it's like, you're never going to be happy with your subscriber count. When you get
Yeah.
to 25, you're going to be like, I want to get to 100K, and 100K,
Yeah.
I want to get to 1 million. And so you pointed out on your own accord, like, I just need to enjoy the process, and really, like, I'm going to be missing these days, which I'm sure you will.
Yeah, I actually talked to my stepfather about this. He and I were out on the boat, and I was like, I think you equate it to raising up a child, right? You have this child, you have a kid, and you probably can relate to this too, even though she's still young. It's like when they start growing up, you miss those times when they were little.
Yeah.
And so instead of not really appreciating the moment that I'm in, and I'm always trying to focus on what I'm looking to obtain, instead of just appreciating the moment I'm in and moving on from that.
Absolutely. And being conscious of that. It also with our businesses.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs say the same thing. The grind, the hustle, it's stressful at the time, but I'm certain that we're going to look back and we're going to miss these days, and we're going to be reminiscing about these days where we're grinding.
Yeah.
And and that's really what this Barcast was created for, was for us to be able to have documented history of the small beginnings. That is exactly what this Barcast is.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why entrepreneurs, when they reach the top of a certain mountain, I see a lot of them just start all over again.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool to look at these challenges and try to take these challenges and try to figure out what the steps are, because when you are a multi-million-dollar business, a decision that's made is just like a drop in the bucket. I would imagine, like, a decision for Apple that one person makes isn't really going to move the needle. But for us, in the infancy stages of our businesses, one decision that we make could make all the difference. And we, like, for example, we just finished our first run of our Facebook ads, and by all accounts, like, it exceeded our expectations.
Yeah.
And if that decision of how we formatted it and how we created the funnel, if that works, that could be the difference between us being here and getting to here.
Yeah.
And so I think there's just, the stakes are higher at the beginning, and I think that's what you're talking about, entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, when they reach the mountaintop. I think that's what they seek, is that challenge, and then when they figure it out and they make a decision that has huge impact, they could see it just skyrocket.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it's us. I'm hoping we can do that.
Yep.
But it's cool because it's just you, me, and Jake as far as like behind the scenes. And then now our community is growing, where we have our mentorship, and that's an extension of the team. And then we have our community, and our students and the people in Discord, and that's another part of the family. And so that's going to continue to grow and evolve. And every decision we make today has an impact on all of those stakeholders.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was awesome. I mean, I think a lot of people can take away from what it is that we were discussing about, small beginnings and stuff. And so, we're starting to come towards the end, and I know that you had something that you wanted to share. So, and again, I still have no idea what it's all about. So let's get to it.
So next week we're gonna have Rob Napier on, who oversees the Jack Daniel's Club, the old Number 7 Club. So he's gonna sign us up for our bottle. The Jack Daniel's Club has over 500 members in it, and when I started the club, I had bottle 1A, which was the Jack Daniel, which was the horse management bottle.
Yeah.
And so I've talked to the owner, and our Barcast is going to be bottle 1A.
What?
Yeah. So 1A.
That's awesome.
So we can cheers to that.
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, now you tap. All right.
That's amazing.
So tune in
Thank you
next
very
week.
much. That's going to be awesome. Huge. That's huge. That's awesome.
Can't beat 1A.
No,
There's
man.
no better number.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I don't even know what to say to that. I'm like kind of at a loss here. But thank you.
Yeah, of course, man.
That's amazing. Well, with that, I don't even know how to follow that up. So yeah, what did you guys think of today's podcast? I thought it was good. It just allowed me to get a lot of stuff off my chest too.
And more importantly, who's toast?
Right, yes.
Who's toast?
Yeah. So I'm going to be putting a poll out on YouTube actually. So we'll have you respond to that, or just leave comments down below. Obviously, mine was the better one, so make sure that you put that down in there. And and that's it for us, guys. So again, if you like this, please like and subscribe. We certainly would appreciate it. Go check out at Cashier, at In the Chaos on IG, and that's it for us. So thanks again. As always, I will see y'all before the bell, and B. Smith is out.